Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel. Today's topic is Scream 2022. Why? Because it's only a few short days from its release and we need to talk about some stuff. What do I expect of this movie? What do I want to see? And more importantly, I want to hear what you guys want to see. But we're going to talk about two theories that I've been hearing, and then I'm going to give you what I want to see. And it's super exciting. First theory we're going to talk about is one that says that Judy Hicks is the killer. Judy Hicks being the killer is a little bit of a cheat. Granted, she could be raising Billy Loomis's son. We don't know. The character's related somehow to someone, right? Isn't that what they said? The theory that she's raising Billy Loomis's son is a little side note we have to talk about. It's either supposed to be Billy's or Stu's kid. And I don't know if I buy either one of those as a situation. Why can't she be raising someone else's kid other than the main two killers? And what makes it, I mean, is he supposed to be related to someone from the OGs? Maybe he is. Maybe he is in fact related to someone we haven't met yet. And I tend to kind of believe that more than I believe anything else. Not all of these characters are related by blood to other people. If you think about what they said, and actually think about what they said that the killer is killing people who were involved in the original killings. So, Judy Hicks was around. Judy Hicks was around during that time. She was around during the time when they were having these killings go on. She was a class member of Sydney's. And that being said, Sydney didn't even remember her. So she didn't make much of an impact. She probably wasn't invited to the party. Could that be some level of guilt for her? Could that be like her reason that Sydney, the most popular girl she knew, well, and Sydney wasn't that popular, actually. Because there were some girls in the school that actually hated Sydney. So what would be the point of having this girl want to be Sydney's friend so bad that she'd resort to stalking her for her entire life, more or less, and then waiting all these years to kill her? The theory falls apart. And the idea that this kid could be related to the OG, like I said, it's a side note, right? So, one of the things that people have been saying is that it could, in fact, be Dewey's kid, which would mean that Dewey had cheated on Gail Weathers, because this kid shouldn't have even been born during the time that the original killers were alive. And by the time the original killers die, Dewey was already well on his relationship with Gail Weathers. So, you know, he was well on his way to having a relationship with her. So that right there doesn't make a lot of sense. I love fan theories and I love to listen to them. But sometimes you get one like that if you really break it down, it stops making a whole lot of sense. Now, if we see the movie and some of the stuff proves to be true and they can tell me exactly how this makes sense, then yay. But then here's the other one that I heard, that Dewey is in fact the killer. If you listen to Dewey in the very first movie, he actually seems to really like Sydney a lot, and he's only a couple years older than them. And maybe he shouldn't be crushing on his sister's high school friend, but, you know, I guess he does seem to protect her later on, but that's more of a sisterly type of bond. You know, that's more like you are like family to me because I've known you your entire life type of thing. I don't think that Dewey actually ever had a mad crush on Sydney. I do, however, think that Stewie did. Stewie actually says so. He says, I always had a thing for you, Sydney. And I mean, that's something that, yes, we do see him having a crush on Sydney, but Dewey, not so much. I think it's more of a I saw you grow up type of thing, you know, and especially after his sister dies. But a lot of people have noted that Dewey didn't really seem that sad by his sister dying. Well, you know, there was a break during the movies, though, people. Like, after the first movie ends, we don't see them again until Sydney goes to college, and Dewey follows to make sure she's safe. And the thing of that is that this coincides with the whole fact that my sister died, but you are family. You are and always have been like a member of the family, and I want to protect you. So I don't see that as happening either. However, what if Dewey was the killer? What if he had always been the killer? What if he resented his sister? It had nothing to do with Sydney, but the other two had always determined they wanted to kill Sydney, thanks to Sydney's brother that we meet in part 3. What if that's the case? They come up with a plan. Dewey hears about it, doesn't do anything. Maybe Dewey actually could have arrested one of them and didn't do it because he knew that ultimately he could end up getting his way, that his sister, who he secretly despised, could die. Well, Sydney now is a problem because Sydney's a survivor. But then he didn't kill anybody else during the last couple of movies because he was always stabbed. He was always the victim, right? Let's say, for the sake of argument, he was a killer in the first movie. That there were 4 Ghostface, basically, in the first movie. You had Sydney's brother, who didn't kill anybody in the first movie. But then you had 3 others that did. You had Dewey, Stewie, and Billy. Now, for the sake of argument, let's say that was a thing. I don't know. I don't know how that works. And any good film theory has to work, at least to a certain extent. If I can't think in my head as to how that even remotely works, then I can't accept that as a theory. But I want to hear from you on these 2 theories that we talked about, and who do you think the kid is that Judy Hicks has been raising? Tell me in the comments below those things, if you would. If you'd be so kind, because YouTube likes it when you do that, and I definitely want to hear from you on this. Now that brings us to another topic, and our other topic is, of course, what do I expect of this movie? What do I want to see? Well, the rumor is that there are 2 killers, at least 2 killers. Now, it would be really cool to have Stewie come back, but I don't really know that I believe that's going to happen, as that really already happened in the TV show The Following. The entire script, where it was supposed to be part 3, would be revealed that Stewie was the mastermind, was adapted into the TV show The Following. So I don't see them bringing that up as a plot to really do something with. However, things are going on in Stu Macher's house, so could we see Stu in it in some capacity? Who knows? However, I don't believe he's going to be the killer, and I don't believe he's going to be the mastermind at all. What I would like to see is maybe some sort of redemption for him if they must put him in there. But the character of Sam Carpenter is supposed to have delusions. She's supposed to hallucinate every now and then. I would like to see something done with that. Maybe, and just maybe, the second killer is all in her head. Okay, now hear me out. Maybe the second killer is all in her head. one of the killers in the commercial has a gold mask. So what's up with that? Having a metallic mask. And I'm reminded of a little movie called Slumber Party Massacre 2. In Slumber Party Massacre 2, the main girl actually starts to kind of have delusions. Now, the movie's old enough. If I gave you a couple spoilers, it really wouldn't matter, but I'm going to try not to really do that. Let's just say that some of the movie kind of tends to take a little bit of place in her mind, if you will. And it makes for a unique setting because there's several times when there are these dream sequences where the killer is legitimately more Freddy Krueger than he is an actual killer. Now, I don't want to see Scream go the Freddy Krueger route, but being that we already know that the character may in fact not really be able to trust what's in her own mind, it actually states that she don't even trust herself in one of the bio things on the character. And that's kind of an odd thing to say. And then there's the fact that she says to Sydney, I already know who you are. This kind of sets her up to be a red herring as the killer herself. But I don't think they're going to go the route with the main hero and being the killer. They did that in part 4. So here's what I think. I think the other killer may in fact just be in her mind. Imagine the fun that you could have. This whole metallic mask welding Ghostface with the flamethrower, and it's in her head. It's just so crazy. And we only see him one time. Now, the director had stated something along the fact, the directors and writers had stated something along the fact that the main killer would be wearing a different mask from the other ones. And maybe that means he's the main killer. And that hints that there are indeed more than one killer. This could very well mean that we're getting a mastermind that could know Sydney from the past. Something happened that isn't quite right in this reboot. And that could be really crazy. But I seem to really want to see this girl have these delusions. I think it would be scary for us as the audience not to know what's real and what's not as we're watching the movie. How cool would it be if all of a sudden here comes this metallic-faced Ghostface and he's coming at her with a flamethrower, coming at other people with flamethrowers, and she's seeing it all in her head, and it's not really what's going on, and she has to kind of deal with these delusions while also fighting off a real-life murderer in her own world, in her own neighborhood. This is no longer just in her head, but it presents the character in such a way that now she is something to be reckoned with. Now we have to worry about this character a little more, and it sets her off away from Sydney because Sydney never had any such problems. To have a new hero and be in charge, to have someone new, you have to have them deal with some sort of struggle, and maybe this is her struggle. Maybe going forward, if she continues to be the heroine in the next movie, we'll get to see more of why this is. And I think that's an interesting take. I think that would be really cool to watch. That's just one thing that I want to see. I also really don't think I want to see a lot of the Stab movie. The Stab movie's been done in all the other movies. And yeah, okay, I get it. Everything from part 2 all the way on has had Stab movie references. I don't see this one being any different, but I hope it's not a big part of the movie. Like, I heard one theory that the entire movie is a Stab movie, and I hope not. I really do hope not. That would be tragic. But that's what I think, and that's what I want. That's what I expect of the movies. What do you expect of the new movie? Make sure that you're liking this video and sharing this video with all of your friends, because YouTube likes it when you share the video, and we like it when you share the video. Also, make sure you're leaving us a comment telling us what you think about the theories, letting us know what theories you have. Also, definitely let me know what you expect of this movie. Are you super excited to go and see it like I am? And then don't forget, we need more subscribers. Miko says we do. And look at that face. Would he lie to you? No. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're hitting that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell down below so you don't miss a single video. And we'll see you next time. But remember, friends, to be safe out there. And at the end of the day, fandom is family.